Hello YouTube, this is Dark Emissary 617, and today I'm going to be doing my top 3 Bowslinger Senseis from Skylanders Imaginators. In this battle class, I own only one of these characters, which I will explain when we get to that character. For the Bowslinger class, I actually am surprisingly, I like this class a lot more than I thought I would, because even though it's kind of plain, because all you do is kind of just shoot arrows and shoot more arrows, they're kind of done in a cool, fancy way based on your Imaginator's attack moves, and the way these 3 were handled were very unique. I do like that. Surprisingly, because of the way they were handled, they're very unique to the point that not one of the Bowslingers feel boring. See, even the Brawlers, I had a problem with, because even though they had aesthetics to change up how they play, they all kind of did mostly the same, still with punching. Or how the Bazookas definitely felt very, very redundant, when all they did was just shoot more missiles, more torpedoes, more anything out of their bazookas. But these guys felt very unique, and were very true to their characters while being true to their elements at the same time. To start off with my least favorite, which is going to probably make a lot of Skylander fans upset, I hate to admit, is probably Wolfgang. First of all, Wolfgang at first I thought was very strange to see him become a Bowslinger. I thought he was going to be a smasher, because he liked to smash people with his cool Mozart-style, like, bow axe type instrument, bow axe guitar type thing, because he likes to play music. But he actually became a Bowslinger, which actually, looking back, it makes sense now. His bone harp, yeah, that's what I meant to say, his bone axe harp actually has strings, so making it into a bow actually makes a lot of sense. So it's pretty clever, actually. And I have to say, Wolfgang, unfortunately, while is a cool villain, I don't love this villain as much as others, because he's a werewolf, and yes, he's super popular and marketable, but I personally liked a couple of other villains a lot more than this guy. Don't get me wrong, he's an awesome villain, and I do kind of like him a lot more than some Skylanders in the Undead element, like Rattleshake and Pit Boss, but the Undead class is one of my favorite classes, and I wanted a very cool-looking, unique Undead character for the villain, but Wolfgang's still pretty cool in his own aspects, and I do love the clever nods to his overall design of his character. His name is Wolfgang, and he has like this Mozart style like bone harp, which we've established, and he's just pretty cool. He shoots arrows, he kind of does his typical knee slide attack when he kind of slides while playing his harp, and he also has this third ability where he can summon undead amps to attack enemies. That's pretty nifty. So he's pretty true to his character, and he does some undead aesthetics, so he's pretty cool. But he's my least favorite only because the other 2 I'm about to talk about are super awesome. And my second favorite is Robo. Now this guy I have a few problems with. Even though he has the coolest design in the Bowslinger class, and he just looks so awesome with the Robin Hood aesthetics. His cool bow that I love because the red and gold remind me heavily of the nostalgia I have with my second of the first 2 Skylanders I ever bought in the game, Drill Sergeant. And the fact that he's green. Why did I put him in second place? Well, he's not mine yet again. Yeah, my brother liked Robo more than Chain Reaction, so I ended up with Chain Reaction instead of Robo. Bummed me out a lot, because I love this guy's design. He has everything I love in a Skylander, and he has this cool one eye that's like light bluish tint there, fading from the black of his overall robotic head, and has this one eye with the visor, the lens kind of like squinting almost. It kind of reminded me of Weasley from Portal, and I just thought he looked so cool. And he just looks so awesome, but unfortunately he's not mine. Now don't get me wrong, I actually do like chain reaction, but Robo is just so much cooler. Anyways, as for attacks, he shoots arrows like you'd expect, but he can roll into a little tiny spiky ball for speed, and he can shoot beams out of his eye. So he's a pretty cool looking Skylander, and I did love playing as him for sure. Also cool thing, if you look at how his figure was designed, he's the only Bowslinger pointing to the left, as opposed to pointing to the right like Wolfgang and Buckshot. But that leads me into number one. My number one favorite sensei in the Bowslinger class is Buckshot. Buckshot here is my favorite sensei for a lot of reasons. First of all, his design is very cool. I love the goat aesthetic. And fun fact, Capricorn is my constellation, so I have a bit of an attachment to Buckshot because of this. He looks really cool, even though it's kind of weird. He has like these empty, solemn-looking white eyes. But he's just so cool because he teleports, and because of this is what makes him unique. See, Wolfgang, he had undead bones and had the underworld-like amps that came out of the ground. Robo shoots all technological stuff with his robotic metal arrows and rolls up into a mechanical ball while shooting an I-beam, while Buckshot can create dimensional magical portals to teleport through. He can shoot arrows through these portals to shoot all over the place, and can actually speed up after jumping into a dimensional rift kind of thing. He basically turns into a flying sphere and then creates a spatial portal type thing, and then he can shoot into those portals to shoot more arrows all over the field. So he was a very fun Skylander to play with. And I just love the design with the tail holding him up with his feet just barely touching the ground except for one basically. And he just had so many cool aesthetics. And I also love the purple magic arrow. That just looks so cool next to his overall plain-looking gold bow. And also, weirdly enough, he's the only Skylander he's the only Bowslinger whose bow does not have a string to shoot, since they're magical arrows. So, Buckshot overall is my favorite Bowslinger in this class. And overall, this class is pretty cool, and I did like playing as them a lot more than some of the others. But anyways, what are your thoughts on the Bowslingers? This has been my list for the Bowslinger class, and this is Dark Emissary 617 signing out.